All right, looks like we are live. Welcome back to Gemini Crypto. So the market is dipping so hard. Well, I didn't do a live stream yesterday, but I did a live stream on Sunday, which was before this massive whale dumping on us. So he dumped on us on Sunday. Usually Sunday is a low liquidity day because it's the weekend, so people don't trade as often, or maybe even on Friday they would just take some profit, so they have a little bit of money to enjoy the weekend. So this whale dumping on Friday, on Sunday, is actually quite interesting. Well, so let's go back to let's quickly loop you guys in what happened in the previous 2 days, because I didn't do a live stream yesterday. So for those of you who don't know, I'm doing this live stream. I'm trying to do it Monday to Friday every single day, but this week has been quite difficult for me because it's Bitcoin Asia in Hong Kong. So I'm attending a lot of conference. There's so much going on, and last week I was in Seoul. I actually just came back on Sunday. So yeah, a lot is going on, but I can promise you is that I'm gonna do a live stream at 5 p.m. Whenever I do this live stream and this show. So 5 p.m. Hong Kong time, which means 5 a.m. Eastern time. So all right, so let's jump onto the show. Let's look at the chart to see what's going on. So all right, we're on the daily chart of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is battling this 110K, this critical level. And right now it's like trying to turn it into a support line, but you can see it's struggling a little bit. Why 110K is such a critical level I'm watching? Like, first of all, it's a round number, like small psychology number. And second of all, if you go back to like May, all the way back to May, 3 months ago actually. So 3 months ago, we are like this 110K is acting as the resistance line, and we have been testing this resistance like 1, 2 times, 3 times, and then boom, and then we went up. But here as well, like we are trying to, like, you see this like uptrend, trying to reach the 110K, but we didn't manage. So here we are acting as maybe a support, but let's see if we manage to hold this critical level. So we're on a daily chart. Let's hop onto the weekly chart so we can look at, like, zoom out and look at the bigger picture, what is going on. So again, 110K, a critical level. However, right here, I do want to pull out the moving average. So here's the moving average, 50-week moving average, and then also 200-week moving average. So the reason why I would like to pull this up is because, like, there's so much fear, especially on Twitter right now, like people saying, okay, is the top already in? What's going on? How's this going to play out? So one indicator that we can use to see whether the top is in is we're going to look at the 50-week moving average very closely. So we're here on the weekly chart. So look at the blue line. Focus on this blue line. The reason why we focus here, okay, so if we zoom closer, back in April, so 4 months ago, back in April, we dipped below this like 50-week moving average. So a wick down is okay, but if we close below this 50-week moving average and for like 2 consecutive candles or even 3 candles, the bull market has probably ended. So all I'm saying is that there's still like so much room, like you see here, like all this room between where we are, so 110K, to this like 50-week moving average. So here's one indicator that the top is not in from a technical perspective. And this is actually extremely accurate because, like, here we touched, but we only wicked below this 50-week moving average in August 2024, so last year. And then we zoom out, go all the way back when it dipped below the 50-week moving average. So we had that bull market run, like the massive bull run back in November 2021. So let's zoom closer to what happened, because this is an indicator that I like to use quite a lot. So you see, okay, once it touched the 50-week moving average, so it dipped below 46.9K. One candle is okay. However, so one candle touched this moving average, and then second one, and the third one, and then boom, we close below the 50-week moving average. So that is concerning. And then if you go back to, well, this one is not like, okay, so if you go back to here, for example, so we close below this moving average, 50-week moving average, quite a few days, but like you see a gradual improvement. So that's fine. So let's go all the way back. Well, I'm on the Binance chart, so maybe it's not like as accurate. But the point being, most often than not, like if we close like 2 or 3 weekly candles below this 50-week moving average, then we're gonna start be quite concerned, quite concerning. However, we are still doing okay at the moment. All right, so that's for the moving average. And also, let's take a look at the bull market support band, because my prediction right now is that very likely we're gonna go back into the bull market support band, which is right here. So around this level, so if the right here. So we're going to trade, basically we're going to chop around, consolidate, and trade sideways. That's my number one prediction. However, the second scenario is that, because most often than not, September going to be pretty weak for Bitcoin, actually. Oh, Desmond, oh, hi. Oh, I thought you're traveling. So by the way, I'm saying September usually has been pretty weak month for Bitcoin return. Well, in the beginning of August, I was a little surprised as well, because like if you go back to the monthly return, 8 months out of 11 months, like August, we end up with the dip. However, this is only one data to look at. The second data, like second indicator to see whether August will end up with a dip, because right now we are on 26th. Towards the end, I'm not sure if it's going to close with a negative number. Looks like it, which I'm okay actually, because I tweeted just today, like a few hours ago. I'll be more than happy to see Bitcoin below 100K. So if you count this, like 8 months out of 11 months, we're going to close with a negative number. All right. So for September, usually like 1 year post halving, we're going to end up with a negative number. So usually like a joyful July and then joyful August, and then boom, you see like a negative number in September, because this usually happen every 4 years, like basically post halving. So yeah, I'm expecting a negative number in September as well. See how that plays out. So what I would say, so scenario number one is that we go back to the bull market support band and then we consolidate. Scenario number two is that we might go back to the moving average. So let's close this and pull out the 50-week moving average. So remember, is this blue line, 50-week moving average? The reason why I'll say this, let's also pull up the RSI. So RSI, I'm eyeing this 60 critical level for the RSI, because like it's almost right here we acting as resistance, and then right here we acting as the support. So 60 is a critical level. And another reason why I'm eyeing this 60 level on the RSI is that, okay, if you go back to, for example, February or January, February actually, so February, when it dipped below 60, looks what happened to the Bitcoin chart, Bitcoin weekly chart. You see like this massive red candles, and then it go back to the 50-week moving average. So it retests that level. Same thing happened here. So once it dropped like below 60 for like a few candles, more often than not, you will see Bitcoin go back to its 50-week moving average. So that's scenario number 2. Regardless, like if we consolidate, so if Bitcoin just go back to the bull market support band and trade sideways, consolidate, this is going to be beneficial for altcoins or even Ethereum. So let's also look at Ethereum. So ETH versus BTC. Ethereum is still outshining Bitcoin. Like again, we are at this critical level of 0.04, and we are acting as like a resistance. But I'm quite positive that Ethereum would be doing okay, especially if Bitcoin trades sideways and consolidate. Because usually, if Bitcoin just consolidate, it's time for Ethereum or other altcoins to shine. If Bitcoin like dip, usually it's going to drag down the entire market, ETH altcoins included. But if Bitcoin break new all-time high, it's going to take all the traction and attention back to Bitcoin. That's usually the case. So Bitcoin trading sideways and then go back to the bull market support band is actually quite good for Ethereum, I would say. So 0.04 is a critical level. Let's see if we could close this above this resistance. But I'm also watching the 0.05 because I'm quite optimistic that Ethereum going to go back up to 0.05. And this has always been the case for actually, well, how long? Let me see, for a very long time. So for years, basically, like 1,100 days. So 0.05, I think, is approachable. So if you take this ratio and kind of predict, oh, Jimmy, so where is Ethereum going? So if you take this like 0.05, and let's say Bitcoin reach 120K by the end of 2025. So I'm not being too crazy here, right? Like 120K is approachable. So the bad case scenario for Ethereum, I'll say is actually $6,000. Let's turn to the bull case scenario, so 0.05. And let's say Bitcoin reach 150K by the end of this year, so 2025. It's going to be like 7,500. So cautiously speaking, if Ethereum doesn't reach 6,000 in like by 2025, I'll be really surprised. But let's see. I'm watching the charts very closely. So all right, so that's for TA. Let's also hop on to the news and talk about the whales. Like I'm sure you guys know about this because like this massive candles is very difficult to ignore. But if you don't, I'm going to quickly loop you in what happened. So basically on Sunday, on a very low liquidity weekend, this massive whale sold 24,000 BTC on Hyperliquid. And straight off the bat, Bitcoin crashed to 110K within just minutes. So here's the chart. So within just minutes, you see like within 15 minutes, it crashed to 110K. So here's on Binance. So of course, there's like a chain reaction. So 500 to 900 million dollars being liquidated. So that's like mostly long positions. So that's why it kind of caused Bitcoin to go down further. And yeah, $3 billion in open interest wiped out across BTC and ETH contracts. So why would this happen? And let's take a look at this OG wallet. So if you guys want to track the wallet, here it goes. So here's the wallet address. By all means, you can track it. So this OG holder has actually been holding Bitcoin for more than 5 years. he first accumulated BTC, and it was around like 6K to 10K. Originally hold like 100,000 BTC, more than 100,000 BTC, and at a cost for like $600 million. Now it's worth like $11 billion. That's billion with a B. All right. So recent move is that he sold like 24,000 BTC, and he used that amount to buy Ethereum. That was like such a bold move, especially for Bitcoin Maxi, because it's gonna piss off a lot of Bitcoin Maxi for sure. But it is what it is. I just like to watch the chart. So basically, he sold $2.2 billion in BTC. He bought ETH with those $2.2 billion. Half of that, he staked his Ethereum for $1.1 billion. And then another 500 million, he put a long on Ethereum on Hyperliquid. So that is what happened. Well, so since he's doing everything on Hyperliquid, some people wonder like what's the road. Well, personally, I'm really bullish on Hyperliquid. I like the product a lot, and also the fact that they could manage such a high volume, like spot trading volume, it really something. So basically, Hyperliquid handled $3.4 billion within 24 hours of spot volume, including 1.5 billion in BTC trades. So if you guys don't know the context, like let me give you some examples. Like Hyperliquid basically surpassed Coinbase and Bybit combined. So that's how, like, really why I'm so bullish on Hyperliquid. And they generated basically $4.7 million in just fee alone. This is really proving something. So DeFi platforms maybe can really rival centralized exchanges, but of course, like there's some risk of leverage trading as well. I'm not sure if you guys hold any Hyperliquid. I bought Hyperliquid actually last year, so like I'm doing fine. I took a little bit profit because like basically triple in just a few months, but I still have like a bag of Hyperliquid. I like the product a lot, but like, all right, so that's for Hyperliquid. Let's go back to this whale. So this news, because I've been talking Hyperliquid enough. If you guys want more alpha like this, because I talk about Hyperliquid last year, and then the first thing I did is that I wrote a tweet a few months ago. So I think 2024, late 2024. So if you guys want early alpha, make sure to follow me there. So on Twitter, Gemini Crypto, because I don't always have the time to make live stream or make videos like this. It's going to take forever. Like tweeting out something is so much faster for myself, basically. So make sure give me a follow on Twitter. All right, so let's come back to this whale. This whale, like, why did he do such thing? This is a really bold move for a Bitcoin whale to swap to Ethereum. Basically, well, I think it comes down to a few reasons. So first of all, obviously profit taking. Like Bitcoin up 60% in 60 days. So like taking a little bit of profit off is completely fine. And at the end of the day, he has been holding his BTC for more than 5 years, for God's sake. So like a lot of tempting opportunity to sell, but he didn't. So right now he's taking a little profit. Obviously, like since he's rotating to Ethereum, like this whale kind of see Ethereum being a bigger opportunity right now, because like Bitcoin has consistently breaking new all-time high. If you think of the risk and reward ratio, it makes sense for the whale to actually swap to Ethereum instead. So yeah, like rotating to Ethereum, earning a little bit of staking yield actually makes a lot of sense to me. And then right now is actually Ethereum cycle. You see Tom Lee shilling Ethereum every single day on different podcasts, different interviews. on like a national TV and stuff. So right now is Ethereum moment to shine, baby. And then after Ethereum, we all know the gist, like maybe a little bit of money going to flow into altcoins, and finally we'll get altcoin season. But that's something down the line. At the moment, it's ETH season. So rotating to ETH, it makes a lot of sense. And then he's also doing on Hyperliquid. I'm guessing if, like, first of all, it's a decentralized exchange. Maybe he see that like as an opportunity to not do KYC. That's a great thing. But like 5 or 6 years ago, he bought his BTC via centralized exchange. So I don't know. I'm not sure if the KYC is an issue for him. But another speculation that I have is that since he's doing it on Hyperliquid, not sure if he's trying to farm the Hyperliquid rewards, like the airdrop, the unit coins, and then the hype coins. I don't know, just speculation here. But like, if you ask me, am I hating this whale? Because like this whale is taking so much shit on Twitter. Like everyone is pointing finger at this whale. Like who does this on a Sunday, on a weekend when everything is like such low liquidity and blah blah blah. But like, I don't know. I think it's all right. Like I'm happy to see 100K Bitcoin, like I said, and like I tweeted just a few hours ago. So another question that I've seen on Twitter is that, okay, so billions of dollars, like 2.2 billion of dollars flow into ETH. Why did ETH still dump? All right, I think that's a good question. So first of all, like straight off the bat, Ethereum actually pumped, and then it dipped because Bitcoin was dipping so much. And usually when Bitcoin dip, it's kind of contagious. It's going to drag down the entire market, like ETH, altcoins, basically the whole market included, because there's still a really high correlation between BTC and ETH. I think it's 0.8 for the correlation. So when BTC dipped, ETH did pump a little bit because the whales bought so much, and then it's going to dip. And then there's also, when it dips, there's like liquidation. So the long position for ETH were completely wiped. I think there was like 390 million being wiped just because of this whale's action. Yeah, so that's why ETH still dump. And then, but if you take a look at Hyperliquid, like Hyperliquid is doing really good. It's near its all-time high, I think. So all-time high is, oh, well, let's go to Hyperliquid. So right now it's $48. So, okay, for the past 24 hours, it actually pumped 0.7%. I'm actually very surprised. Like, well, Hyperliquid is as I said, is a coin that I really like. And also it has this like massive spot volume trade. It's very close to its all-time high. Right now it's 45. All-time high is, okay, 49. So we are 8% away from its all-time high. But even in a market dump like this, Hyperliquid is still holding rather well. So that's really something I'll say. Long-term impact for this whale's action. Well, I'm actually like not too concerned. Like short term, of course, there's going to be volatility, and yeah, going to stabilize and consolidate around 110K. That's what I mentioned in the beginning of the show when I was doing the TA. So going to trade and go back to the bull market support band. That's scenario number one. Or if we go back to the 50-week moving average. If you believe that September is going to be a bad month for Bitcoin. So that's why. And then more often than not, because like another question that I get and I saw on Twitter is that, oh, why whales dumping Bitcoin is such a big thing compared to institutions buying billions of dollars into Bitcoin or ETH. It just barely moved the market. Okay, so that's a valid question. I would like to offer some perspective. So usually when whales dump a huge amount, they just do it on exchange. Like maybe centralized exchange. For this case, is Hyperliquid, so a decentralized exchange. While institutions instead, they will do it really slow via OTC, via brokers, because they don't want to do it like, when they have like a huge buy. And if you do it on exchange, like your money just keep rising. The amount that you pay keeps rising. So institutions usually just use OTC, while whales just like they want to move fast. That's why they dump it on centralized exchanges or decentralized exchanges. So when whales do it on exchanges, it triggers so much liquidations and crashes the thin bulk, especially on weekend, like when the liquidity is usually lower. So when that happens, it's gonna create like a cascading effect because it creates so much FUD and panic selling in the market. So yeah, I mean, I like it because I have always thought that August we're gonna close with a negative number, like a red number, and yeah, it looks like it's playing out. I'm still not sure yet because we are still a few days away to September. If we close with a negative August, then maybe we'll have to readjust the number for September. I don't know. I'm going to update guys. That's what I could promise because I'm doing this live stream. I try to do Monday to Friday, but tomorrow I'm away. So tomorrow, no live stream at 5 p.m. Hong Kong time or 5 a.m. Eastern time because there's another event I have to attend. First of all, it's Bitcoin Asia and Hong Kong. Everything's so packed. Second of all, is the launch party of Roxham TV. I'll be joining them as the host. So moving forward, you're going to see my face on Roxham TV. At the same time, you're going to see me on Gemdream Crypto. So make sure to subscribe both platforms. All right, so that's for the that's annoying. So okay, so that's for the chart. Let's move on to another really juicy news. So Donald Trump fires a Fed governor. Her name is Lisa Cook. And this is so, how do I use the word, like historic, if you put it nicely. So basically, just today, just today. So Donald Trump announced on Truth Social that he was firing Lisa Cook for cause. This is unprecedented. Like no president in the United States has ever fired a Fed governor. So Lisa Cook was appointed by Biden actually back in 2022, the first Black woman to serve as a Fed governor. And her term was supposed to last until 2036. And she's explicitly said that she will not resign, even planning a legal challenge and bring this up to the Supreme Court. So basically, why did Donald Trump fire her? The official reason, so here's the letter. So the official reason is that Donald Trump or his team is accusing her of declaring 2 different homes as primary residence to get cheaper mortgage rates. So that's the official reason. And the DOJ has not confirmed any investigation yet. But like the deeper reason, if you think about it, like his move, why is he doing such thing? Obviously, Donald Trump is in a war with the Fed. He wants more control over interest rate because he wants rate cuts. And let's not forget that Lisa Cook was appointed by Biden. Like, that's another reason why Donald Trump might not want her to be in the Fed. So firing her create a chance to replace her with a Trump loyalist who may push faster rate cuts. So I actually see this as like a test case. If he succeeds, Donald Trump gonna target Jerome Powell next. But Jerome Powell, his term is ending in May next year. So regardless, we're gonna get massive rate cuts in 2026 for sure. And the September rate cut has already priced in because the markets are forward looking. So yeah, reaction of the Democrats, of course, very unhappy with Donald Trump. They're like furious. They are saying that this is actually an attack on Fed independence. And yeah, Donald Trump is just want to control the rate cuts. And the market actually react very negatively as well. So the USD dropped against euro and Japanese yen. The treasury yields rose. Stocks dipped a little bit. Yada yada yada. So a lot of critics are saying that is a authoritarian move, and I don't know. I kind of see where it's coming from. Like, again, I'm not American, so I don't feel like making a comment on that. But like, I would say Donald Trump is really extreme when it comes to like he's trying to get what he wants, and he will do basically everything to achieve his goal. I'm not sure if it's a good thing or bad thing. There's certain stuff I don't like him doing, but there are a lot of stuff that like is very positive for crypto, and I like that a lot about him. For example, we finally have some clarity from the SEC to declare that most crypto assets are not securities. And then his anti-CBDC stance that I like a lot, because I really don't understand why people would support that, because it's like a huge divergence from Europe to US as well that I spotted. Yeah, stuff like that. I am a huge supporter, but like this is very extreme, I would say. I'll just put it that way. So anyways, let's go back to crypto. Like, how does this matter for crypto, right? So short-term wise, obviously, stuff like this is uncertain. Like, uncertainty equals volatility. Weaker dollar, also, it could actually support Bitcoin as a hedge, because like if you're holding USD and it's losing its value, you might as well just invest into some other assets, like hardcore asset like Bitcoin. And then long-term wise, since Trump is a person that he would likely push boundary to achieve his goal, like we know that Donald Trump is very pro crypto right now. He supports BTC reserves, oppose CBDC. So if you manage to reshape the Fed, like lower rates, of course, that means more liquidity, bullish for risk on assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum and crypto, yada, yada, yada. Because like you have a huge correlation between global liquidity and also the Bitcoin price. Yeah, so long-term wise, I think like regardless, we're gonna go to a higher place for Bitcoin, like with or without this news. But yeah, I'm gonna keep a close eye on the global market and also the US inflation, the whole tariff things. That's worth looking into as well. But this is the second news that I have. Let's move on to the next one. So more Donald Trump news. So what happened now? So here we have World Liberty Financial. So what is this platform? What's happening? So this is actually the Trump's family DAX, like a decentralized exchange, a DeFi platform. They have this like WLFI token, and it will begin trading on the Ethereum mainnet on 1st of September at 8 a.m. Eastern time. At launch, 20% of the tokens allocated to early investors who bought in private rounds, priced at $0.015 and $0.05, will be unlocked and claimable. The schedule for releasing the remaining 80% will be decided through a community governance vote, the project said. So WLFI has a total supply of 100 billion tokens and has raised at least $590 million across 8 funding rounds. Pre-market trading on over-the-counter venue has implied a fully diluted valuation of about $123 billion. So, first of all, I could give you guys a little bit more context. This token is a governance token. It used to be non-transferable, but right now, because they did some vote, and then like 99% of people support that, you could transfer the token. So right now, I think it's transferable, like after that vote. But so the details is that 1st of September, there's going to be this like new token launch on Ethereum. So if you guys not familiar with the World Liberty Financial, it's backed by the Trump family. So the goal is to merge TradFi and DeFi and strengthen the US dollar across the field. Because I think they have this USD1 stablecoin. And then the core feature is like obviously lending, borrowing, like DeFi stuff. And think of it like Aave, but like fully compliant with the US. I think they even borrow some money from Aave to mint USD1 as well. So USD1 stablecoin is fully regulated by, of course, the US government because it's backed by Trump's family. So the USD1 is backed by treasuries, cash equivalents, and custody by Fidelity and Vigo, actually. So they're trying to be a very legit stablecoin option for American. And there's also this chain link proof of reserves for transparency. However, this is a governance token. So technically speaking, you can only like hold this token and vote on proposals. Like that's why, like personally, I'm not going to participate into this token. But I do want to watch what the group is doing, the organizations is doing, the holding, like the portfolio, basically. Like the reasons why people would maybe use this Liberty Financial over Aave because it's fully US compliant, KYC required actually. So it's heavily positioned itself for institutions, I would say. However, like this thing, like when it was launched last year in 2024, there was so much criticism. Like people were saying that it's like a high level scam, actually, because like if you dive into the data, into detail, like the Trump family actually controls 70% of tokens and 75% of revenue. And there are some really questionable investors, including Justin Sun. So I think he invested $30 million. Justin Sun himself is still facing this SEC fraud charges. So that's why it's so questionable. And people were saying that, okay, it's another scam by Donald Trump. Because like, let's not forget, he used to hate crypto a lot. But the reason why he's like diving into crypto so much is because he finally find a way to profit from it. So yeah, people don't really like the fight, calling it like a bigger scam on American people will use this project. Yeah, so I'm like not this reason that I don't want to invest into WLFI. It's just like, I mean, it's a governance token, so I don't see the point of buying. But yeah, if you guys have any other takes, please let me know. So there's also this treasury I'm watching very closely. So here's another news. So the Trump family crypto business announced 1.5 billion treasury company for well, Liberty token. So basically turning that into like a MicroStrategy play, but for its altcoins, for other stable coins. So that's interesting. And then I'm also watching very closely what they buy. This is the portfolio of the group. So right now they have like multi-millions of dollars into like in Ethereum, a bunch of like, okay, Bitcoin, they have like $17 million. So the reason why I'm watching this portfolio so much instead of the DeFi platform or even this like treasury company for the Liberty token is because like we have like past buys from this group. So back in December 2024, so last year, the group bought like 12 million in ETH, LENG, and Aave, and straight off the bat, like ETH pumped 2%, and then alt pumps like 20 or 30%. Same thing happened in April. So April this year, they have this test buy for SEI, SEI, and then it was just test buy to see how it reacts. I don't know. But because of this news, and then SEI pumped 20% in just one day. So I'm watching what they buy. And then Eric Trump is also shooting crypto so much on Twitter. So I'm watching what he says as well. Because usually people would be like they wouldn't be so transparent about their play when it comes to investment. But I like that. Like I like that about Eric Trump. So we can just like, I don't know, not blindly follow, but like just watch his tweets as reference or something. All right. So however, like if you guys are into this like I don't know, like this new token, WLFI, there you go. So yeah, just bear in mind there will be like a 20% pre-sale unlock. So that could trigger heavy dumps. And then since this is new, like the liquidity is actually really thin, especially at launch. And if you guys want to purchase this, I don't recommend, but I also believe that everyone has the free will to do whatever they want. Just bear in mind, there will be a lot of like fake tokens, WLFI on different chains. So just be careful with that. Yeah, so that's pretty much all the news I want to cover. Yeah, cover everything. All right, so as I mentioned throughout the show, tomorrow is going to be the Roxham TV launch party. If you guys are watching this on Gem Crypto YouTube, so I see a lot of like supporters right here saying hello. Say hello, you guys. Yeah, talk to me. I do want to like have a conversation to feel closer, actually. So yeah, so starting tomorrow, I'll be one of the hosts to join the Roxham TV. I'm really excited. I checked out the office yesterday, and it basically the office is really spacious. And most often than not, I'm just sharing with my producer with like such a massive space and then a really good view watching the whole Hong Kong. You got the sea view, you got a mountain view, all this like skyscrapers. So I love the office so much. Yes, I went to the office to check out the first time with the team, and we all loved the office so much. The office is still setting up because it's brand new. There's no furniture, so the team's gonna buy stuff to do like the lighting, cameras. Probably gonna take like a few weeks. So I think I might be start going to the office in late September, but I'm still gonna need some update from the team. Not sure about the exact date, but yeah. So moving forward, so tomorrow I'm gonna do lots of interviews at the launch party of Roxham TV. They got this like amazing venue as well, so I'm very excited to meet everyone. And then the day after is Bitcoin Asia, so I'll be attending the event, possibly doing some vlogging. If you guys are also going to Bitcoin Asia, just like comment below. Maybe we could like say hi and then just come and say hi. I'll be highly appreciate. Let me know if any of you guys that are watching on YouTube right now in Hong Kong or even attending the Bitcoin Asia event. All right, so that's for Roxham TV. At the same time, don't worry, like all the live stream will also be posted on Gemstone Crypto. So I talked to the team, like it's gonna play out on both Roxham TV Twitter, Roxham TV YouTube, and also Gemstone Crypto YouTube. So yeah, stay tuned. I'm really excited about this thing, and especially the tomorrow launch party. Anyways, that's pretty much all I want to cover. See you guys in the next one.